Wait, what was my password again? Coffee 123. No? Coffee 321. Ugh, seriously, why is this happening again? Hi, it's Alex here. Welcome to Hack Your Brain Gently. And let me ask you something. Have you ever forgotten a password you use every day while randomly remembering the theme song from a cartoon you watched when you were 10? Yeah, me too. Today we're unpacking this weird little trick your brain keeps playing on you. Why you forget what seems important, but can perfectly sing along to a jingle from 15 years ago. We're going to explore how memory actually works, why some things get lost and others get stuck forever, and most importantly, how you can train your brain to remember better with less stress. So grab a drink, get comfy. Let's take a little trip inside your brain. I promise no passwords required. Once again, welcome to Hack Your Brain Gently. I'm Alex, your friendly guide on this weekly journey to make sense of your wonderfully weird brain. Every week we break down a big idea from neuroscience, psychology, or learning science, but we do it the gentle way. No heavy jargon, no boring lectures, just real talk, real stories, and real strategies you can use in your life. Today's episode, we're talking memory, but not the kind you cram for a test and forget the next morning. I mean, the kind of memory that surprises you. The random facts, the songs, the smells, the feelings that suddenly hit you out of nowhere. Why does that happen? Why do we remember some things so vividly and totally blank on others? We'll talk about the science behind it, what's happening in your brain when you forget or remember. We'll also look at some fun examples, and I'll share a few tips you can try this week to boost your memory naturally. And just a heads up, this episode might change the way you think about forgetting. You'll see forgetting isn't failure. Sometimes it's exactly what your brain wants to do. Let's dive in. So let me tell you a quick story. Last week I went to the kitchen, but when I got there, I forgot why I came. I just stood there looking at the fridge. Nothing. My mind was blank. Has this ever happened to you? Later that day I was doing dishes, and suddenly a song popped into my head. It was the old opening song from a cartoon I watched when I was maybe 10 years old. I hadn't heard it in years, but I could sing every word. How is this possible? I forget what I needed today, but I remember something from many years ago without trying. That's the paradox of memory. We often forget things that seem important, and we remember things that don't make sense. And here's the big question for today. Why? Why do we forget what we want to remember? And why do we remember things we never meant to keep? In the next part, we'll find out how your memory works and how your brain decides what to keep and what to let go. Let's go a little deeper. All right, let's talk about how memory works. Think of your brain like a big library, but not a quiet one. This library is full of sounds, smells, pictures, and stories from your life. But here's the thing, your brain doesn't keep everything. It chooses what to save. And it does that in 3 steps. Step 1, sensory memory. This is the first moment when you see, hear, or feel something. It lasts just a few seconds. For example, right now, maybe you hear my voice and also the sound outside your window. That's sensory memory. It's fast. It doesn't last. Step 2, short-term memory. This is the space where your brain holds things for a short time, like a mental notepad. When someone tells you a phone number and you repeat it in your head, that's short-term memory. But if you don't repeat it, you forget it in a few seconds. Step 3, long-term memory. This is where the magic happens. If you use something often or it has strong emotion, your brain stores it long-term, like your best friend's name, or that cartoon song, or your favorite food from childhood. So the process is first you notice something sensory. Then you hold it for a moment short term. And if your brain thinks it's important, you keep it long term. But here's the catch, your brain doesn't save things just because they're important. It saves what you repeat, what you feel, and what connects to something you already know? We'll talk about that next. Okay, now let's talk about forgetting. Why do we forget things? Sometimes it feels like our brain is just not helping, right? But actually, your brain is doing its job. Let me explain. Reason 1, no attention. If you don't really focus on something, your brain doesn't save it. It's like trying to write on water, nothing stays. For example, when someone tells you their name, but you're thinking about lunch, you forget it in seconds. Reason 2, no connection. Your brain loves to connect new things to old things. If something feels random or useless, your brain says, nah, I don't need this. That's why learning new vocabulary in English is easier when you use it in a story, not just a list. Reason 3, stress. When you're stressed, your memory doesn't work well. It's like your brain is saying, I'm too busy surviving to remember passwords. Reason 4, overload. Too much information at once. Your brain can't handle it. It drops things like a person holding too many boxes. So forgetting is not a problem. It's part of how your brain stays healthy and focused. It forgets to protect you from overload. But here's the good news. There are ways to help your brain remember more and forget less. We'll talk about that right after this. Now let's look at the fun part. Why do we remember some things so well? Like a song from years ago, or the smell of your grandma's cooking, or that one sentence your teacher said that stuck with you forever. Here's why. Reason 1, emotion. Your brain remembers strong feelings. If something made you laugh, cry, feel scared, or feel proud, your brain says, hey, this is important, let's keep it. That's why we remember birthdays, breakups, or silly jokes from school. Reason 2, repetition. The more you hear or use something, the deeper it goes into your memory. It's like drawing on paper. 1 time is light, 5 times very dark and strong. That's why songs get stuck in your head. You've heard them many times. Reason 3, music and rhythm. Music is powerful. It has rhythm, melody, and emotion. All these things help your brain remember better. That's why we remember jingles, songs, or poems more than plain sentences. Reason 4, stories. Your brain loves stories. If something is told in a story, not just facts, it's easier to remember. Because stories have emotion pictures and a beginning, middle, end. So, next time you want to remember something, ask yourself, can I turn it into a story? Can I sing it? Can I connect it to a strong feeling? These tricks work because they follow how your brain already works. Coming up next, I'll share some simple memory tips you can try this week. Let's make your brain your best study buddy. All right, so now you know how memory works and why you forget some things and remember others. Let's talk about how you can train your memory, especially when learning English or anything new. Here are 4 simple tips you can try today. Tip 1. Turn it into a story. Our brains love stories. So, if you want to remember new words, don't just write a list. Use the words in a funny little story. Like this, I lost my umbrella at the airport, so I had to buy a banana yellow raincoat. It's weird, but you'll remember it. Tip 2. Use rhythm and sound. Say things out loud. Make it into a song or a chant. Even repeating words with a beat can help. Try this apple, banana, watermelon pie. I eat fruits and I can't lie. It sounds silly, but it works. Tip 3. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Repetition is power. But here's the trick. Space it out. Don't repeat 10 times in 1 hour. Instead, repeat once, now again in a few hours, then tomorrow. This is called spaced repetition. Your brain loves it. Tip 4. Connect to feelings or people. When you learn something new, ask, how does this feel? Or who does this remind me of? Feelings help memory. So learning the word brave is easier if you think of someone you love who is brave. So stories, rhythm, repetition, and feelings. These are gentle memory hacks, and they're perfect for learning a new language like English. Don't worry if you forget sometimes. That's normal. That's human. Just keep practicing and your brain will thank you. Coming up, I'll wrap things up with a quick summary and give you a small memory challenge for the week. All right, let's take a quick look back. Today we learned that your memory is like a library. It keeps some things and lets go of others. You forget when you don't pay attention, when you're stressed, or when you don't repeat. But you remember when something is emotional fun or connected to a story. And we talked about 4 gentle tricks to remember better. Tell a story. Use rhythm. Repeat over time, connect to feelings. Easy, right now, it's your turn. Here's your memory challenge of the week. Pick 3 new English words. Make a small funny story using all of them. Say it out loud, maybe even sing it. Then repeat it once today, once tomorrow, and again in 3 days. You'll be surprised how well you remember. Thanks for spending this time with me. If you enjoyed this episode, follow Hack Your Brain Gently on your favorite app. Leave a review or share it with a friend who's learning English too. And don't forget to come back next time. The next episode is called Why Multitasking is Making You Dumber and How to Focus Like a Monk. Yes, really. Until then, take care, smile often, and be kind to your brain. This is Alex signing off for now. Bye.